In Affinity Photo, as also other applications such as Photoshop, you've got layers. But Affinity Photo has a vast number of ways of manipulating layers and creating all kinds of unique designs. In this video, I'm just going to run through some of them, such as adjustment layers, using layers with shapes. Obviously, shapes are layers as well, and much, much more. So let's get started. I've got this Adobe stock image, and what I can do, I can add a shape to it. I'm going to use this shape to create all kinds of design layouts. So I'm just going to go with this one, diamond tool. Just use a diamond, or any of the others, of course, triangle, but diamond's a really good one. And just create that, just a very basic shape on top of your image. What you can then do is you, of course, can manipulate it along here. You've got options here for manipulating it, but also what you can do, you can bring in this shape or this image into this shape. So let's just go to the actual background here, and I can go to edit and copy. Of course, you can also use shortcuts, makes it even quicker, of course. Edit and copy, then select diamond here, and then you can go to edit and paste inside. That's the key thing, paste inside. And now you can see, of course, nothing really has changed with the image. You can see exactly the same as before. There's a very faint line. But you can see now you've got this diamond, and also you've got this background. So if you want, simply go over here to the move tool. You can just press V, and you can then just shift it slightly, so you can create some interesting designs simply just by moving that. You can also add a stroke to it as well. Now, of course, the fill, you can't see the fill. The fill is obviously the image there. But here you can go with the stroke, and you can say, like, click here, and you can maybe increase the width there. So you can create quite an interesting little design. Very basic change, just gives a slight focus on that person. Also, what you can do is you can zoom in maybe on a particular part of that image. You can also apply effects and much more. To manipulate the diamond, make certain you select the diamond in the layers panel. To manipulate the actual image, make certain you select that. If you don't select that and you're trying to manipulate it, you'll get yourself completely confused. Quite easy done. So make certain you select that, and then you can resize it, move things around, as long as you're selecting the right object in the layers panel. So maybe I want to say increase the size of this face. What I can do, just go to the background, and with that you can see now the bounding box is selected here, and I can resize it. I can also rotate it. I can manipulate it here, so I can just rotate it around, change all kinds of things like that. Also, what you can do is you can go to the diamond, and the diamond can also be moved. So you might decide, you know what, I want a slightly bigger diamond, and you can just move that around, reposition it, and much, much more as well. But also what you can do is you can duplicate this set, the diamond and the background. So make certain you've got the diamond selected. That's the key thing for this. So hold down the Alt Option key, that's on the keyboard, and just drag. And then you can reposition that. You can just move it around, hold down the Alt Option again, and you can see now you've got another shape just over there. Now they're independent, so you can resize it. So you can decide, you know what, I want a slightly smaller design there. Maybe move that up there. Maybe I decide, you know what, I want that rotated. Again, they're all independent. You can also select the background. So just go there and expand out. So in the background there, now this one is selected. You can then reposition it. You might decide, you know what, I want to focus on that. So you can create an interesting sort of like face there. And obviously the mic moved over slightly over there. You might decide with this one, you can select that, expand that out. And you can go to the background and you decide, you know what, I want, obviously, this person over here. I just want that person maybe like that. In between, maybe make it slightly bigger. Let's make her slightly bigger, stretch it out. Now, unfortunately, what happens, it of course always shifts, always moves. So you might want to use the move tool, the hand tool, I should say, and just move that back in the center there. And you can reposition it there, say, maybe just there. So just move it around and create some interesting designs. Maybe decide, you know what, I want that down there. Maybe I want that one over there. And you can change it around, all kinds of things. Also, the shape, this shape is still live. You can, of course, at one point, if you want, turn it into a pixel layer. You can also manipulate the actual points as well, but I'm going to do that a bit later in the video. So with this, I can reposition them. Also, I can apply effects. You can apply live effects. For live effects, you need the layer menu. If you want to apply effect and completely just turn it into a destructive effect where the effect is applied and that's it, you can just use the filters menu. So I'm going to use the filter menu first, but I'm also going to show an example with live filter layers. And also, you can also use adjustments. So adjustments are really great because you can then recolor. And again, you can use the layer menu and use those live adjustments there. And they can be changed at any point. So if you make something red, you can make it green, blue, etc. later if you change your mind. And you can also do it independently for each of those shapes. So for the first, I'm just going to go to the background. And the key thing is to make certain you select the right object. So here, I'm selecting the background. I want to blur that background. So go to filters and then blur. And with filters there, I can go to Gaussian blur. I'm going to go Gaussian blur, and you can see Gaussian blur effect. And you can resize that, change that down there, maybe make it slightly blurred, only just slightly blurred, and click apply. But say you don't want that effect to be a destructive effect. That's what it is, a destructive effect. It's now can't be changed unless you just undo. So let's go to filter, edit and undo. You can also go to layer, and you can go down here to new live filter layer and blur and Gaussian blur and do much the same thing. But this time the effect can be changed later. So I've got the blur effect, close that, and you can see also the actual effect is applied here. So you can just expand this out. You've got the Gaussian blur. So you might decide, you know what, I don't want to have that. I can always remove it, or I can double click, bring up the panel, and I can change the radius. So I can just change it, maybe reduce it down a bit. Also, you've got blends as well. So you can just go here and you can go say, maybe decide, no, I want a color burn effect or maybe linear burn effect for that image and close that. It's live. It can be removed if you don't want it. So I'm just going to do that. But also you can use adjustments as well. So that's to recolor the image. So you can go to layer. Let's just make certain the background selected again. That's the key thing. Go to layer, new adjustment layer, and you can decide, you know what, I want to say gradient map. I'm just going to apply a gradient map. A bit garish, but you can see the effect applied there. And again, you've got blend modes. You can run through those, create all kinds of different effects, and close that. And you can see the gradient map associated only with that shape layer. So that shape there, all the others haven't got that effect. So if you decide, you know what, I don't want that at any point, you can always change it by, again, double clicking, or you can just click here and it's gone again. Also, what you can do is you want to apply the blur or whatever, the effect to the whole thing. Make certain you select here, the diamond, not the background. So that there, and this time I'm just going to blur the whole thing. So filters, blur and Gaussian blur. And you can see then you've got the blur applied to the shape as well as obviously the background image as well. I'm going to just undo that as well. So edit and undo. You might decide, you know what, I like the diamond, but I'd want some slight variations with that diamond shape. Well, unfortunately, the only variations you can do are like midpoint along the control bar along the top. But what you can also do is you can right click and you'll see an option for convert into curve, or just go along that control bar and you can click convert to curves and you will end up with nodes. So you can manipulate the shape. So you don't have to keep it purely as a diamond shape. So let's just do that now. I'm going to select this one. And with this one, I can then make some of the diamond selected and I can right click and you can see down there, convert to curves. There's also an option up here. Most times I normally click this one, convert to curves. So convert to curves. Now it's no longer a diamond. So you can't use the very limited range of features for a diamond. But what you can do is you can go over here and you've got here selected, it does it for you. You've got the node tool. And with node tool, you can say, oh, you know what? I want a slightly different shape than that. Maybe I decide, you know what? I want a triangular shape or maybe a slightly different diamond shape. And you can manipulate this shape, maybe go along there. Also, you can go here and you can see you can then manipulate that curve. So you can make a curve design. You might decide, don't want it all straight lines. I want some curves. I can click this one and manipulate that. So a variety of different shapes can be added onto your design like that. You can also add layer effects to any of these images. So with this diamond selected, that's the key thing, not the actual image itself. with the diamond selected, what you can do, go down the bottom here and you've got effects. So just click effects and then you go here and you've got options here for outer shadow, bevel, etc. I'm just going to go with outer shadow. So click there, highlight that. So outer shadow is highlighted. Change the radius. You can also go for offset as well. Now, one thing you can do in here, which is really quite nice, is you've got the sliders. That pushes it up to 100. But what you can also do is you can turn around and say, well, I don't want just 100. I want 300. So you can edit a value like that. And you can change the intensity. You can also change, obviously, the opacity, as well as blend mode and much, much more. And then once you're happy with that, click close. Now you can apply the same to the other layers. Now, obviously, a slightly better way of doing this would have been to actually add this shadow earlier if you wanted it applied to all of the layers. You can also rearrange the layers. So just go here, right click, and then go to arrange, and you can move back one, or move to the back, or move inside. You can manipulate them further. You can also go to the layers panel and drag them around and reposition them. You can also, of course, just simply go to any of these and decide, I don't want the background in that diamond, and you can just either remove it that way or simply delete it by just going down here to the delete. Well, I hope you found this Affinity Photo video of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Also, a like or dislike, always appreciated. Always great to get that. Also, please subscribe. Always add new tutorials about Photoshop, Affinity Photo, Designer, and of course, many other applications as well. Bye.